Hey gorgeous, this is episode number 316 and the wonderful Joy Bufalini is back on the show today.
Hi, this is Joy Bufalini. You are listening to Heart Sells Podcast with Christine Schlonski.
Well, I am so excited to have Joy Bufalini back on the show today. We are going to talk about how to simplify to multiply. And I loved our conversation in the last episode where we talked about her path to high ticket and how she actually managed to make that transformation in her own life. Joy has been in the coaching industry for over 10 years and she has been featured in both Entrepreneur and O magazine. Using her signature Simplify to Multiply method, she helps clients to double and triple their sales without any launches, webinars, sales funnels, or ads. So I think this will be a great topic to listen to. In case we have not met yet, I'm Christine Schlonski, the host of Heart Sells Podcast, where I talk with inspirational, successful, heart-centered entrepreneurs and business leaders about how they have built a wildly successful business and in many, many cases had to overcome their own challenges in selling their products and services. Some of my wonderful past guests include Ian Altman from Same Site Selling, Andrea Waltz from Go for No, John Lee Dumas, Entrepreneurs on Fire, and Bob Burke from the Go Giver series. This episode is brought to you by Heart Sells Academy, where I am the founder of, and we support heart-centered, ambitious entrepreneurs to redefine sales so that they can grow exponentially in their business and impact while creating a lifestyle and the freedom they are looking for. So if you feel like selling is kind of in your way and it just does not feel good, but you'd love the idea that you could be selling with ease, grace, confidence while being authentic and asking your price, you want to write us an email so we can have a chat of how we can support you, your impact and business growth. Hop on over to christineschlonski.com to find out more. So let's dive into this next great episode with Joy Bufalini, How to Simplify to Multiply. I hope you enjoy. Well, I am so super excited you're back, Joy. Welcome.
Thank you for having me back.
Yeah, I just love our high ticket client conversation. I feel it's so inspiring. And even though like from the first episode where you already shared so many golden nuggets, I was trying to get to the point where you could potentially remember what was the very first thing you sold as a child, because it usually shows how we react to or with money. Mm-hmm. But you shared another thing with me, and I just want to, acknowledge that, because I remember when I sold my very first high ticket, how it felt. And you shared like the moment you sold your high ticket. So tell us about it and what it did to your emotional world. And then also as a consequence of that to your whole business.
Yes, thank you. So yes, it felt like such a big leap of faith, right? Back in the day, $9.97 for 6 months of one-to-one coaching, right? Like that was like my max capacity of receiving money. And I was participating in a challenge, another coach's challenge, where they were talking about, 3K, 4K, 5K offers. And that was really a new concept to me. I really hadn't learned a lot about it before. And I challenged myself to say, what if I could believe in myself? What if I could believe it would be possible that this person, so back to principle number 1 we shared in the first episode, like everything I need is in my world or just a degree or two away. Well, at the time we had a minivan and it just needed to be replaced, right? And I was in this place in my business where I really needed to be making more money or go get a side job or something, right? And I thought, well, if I could get this 3K, if I could sell a 3K offer, like I really feel like I could believe that we could just do this, and I'd probably go start car shopping then. So I had a lead on the phone, and I had been practicing. Here's what I did. I started saying the investment level is $6,000. I practiced saying that in my mind. And I don't know where I got the idea from or if I came up with it on my own. But basically what I did was I desensitized my mind to freaking out about the bigger numbers. And so I would walk around the house and say, and the investment level is $6,000 or 2 payments of, $3,200 or whatever. And I would just practice it. It was really intentional. It did not happen by accident. So when I got on the phone, and I was, again, my 6-month one-to-one coaching program, which was not marketed or packaged very well even at the time, I said, and the investment level is $3,000. And it's like I said it, and it didn't have any triggers, or it didn't sound like scary. It didn't freak me out. And she was like, okay, let's do that. Can I pay today? And it was like, oh, wow, breakthrough, right? And by later that month, I had sold another one and went and bought that car.
So cool.
So it was just a shift, and it was really first a conscious mental shift of stopping to play small and not allowing myself to value the work that I was doing. I'd been a coach for a couple years, by then. It was not unusual in my industry to have a $3,000 offer for 6 months of one-to-one coaching, and as I got more experience, obviously that changed as well. But I had to be really intentional about it and sort of coach myself through it. But once I broke through it, it got so much easier. And it's important to reward yourself too. When you break through some barriers, when you break through an upper limit, plateau that you have, to really make sure you bookmark that in your mind with some good things.
Yeah. So what did you do? You remember what you did to celebrate? I mean, you got a new car.
You got the car, which actually we still have. We're getting ready to flip that out right now. But it's like, it's special. Like I did that, right? I did that. I took care of the car payment on that, right? That was me. And a bigger car payment than we had ever done before. So so that was the celebration, and, that being our new family vehicle. And, you drive around and you feel this sense of like, I did it. And really, a lot of times, especially as women, I know there's not just women listening, but we as women especially aren't as good with this, is allowing ourselves to acknowledge our accomplishments. And when we break through some self-imposed barriers, like, I did it. I did this myself. I bought this, I did that. And just really own it and allow yourself to embody it, to integrate it into your new way of thinking.
Yeah, this is so powerful. And you just said that, especially women, oftentimes we do not acknowledge the special thing, or, we just see it as, well, everybody would have done it, or of course I've done it. But really celebrating that, putting more energy into the thing you want, right? Into the path you're going down to, makes total sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And the second principle that I wanted to share today, which is one of my Simplify to Multiply principles, is when it comes to sales, or really if you look at the whole expanse of your business growth, is a way of thinking that we say there's always an easier way. So when you start to approach challenges or obstacles or a long to-do list, I encourage my clients to take this belief stance. Okay, there's always an easier way. Because oftentimes we have these doors closed in our mind of just like, well, this is how it is, right? Or this is what I need to do for this particular project. If you come at it from a stance of there's always an easier way, it actually puts your mind in a little different paradigm of thinking. It's more open. It's more flexible, right? And it allows you actually to see ideas, opportunities, a simpler way. Like, oh, wait, I don't really need to do this and this, or I just need to do this. But first, you really have to claim that way of thinking. There's always an easier way, right? And this, again, the universe is here to support us, right? And it's a big shift, though, to get out of this hard work mentality, right? So many of us were brought up, you earn money. If you're going to make, $10K, $20K in a month, you've got to work really hard to earn it. And sometimes we keep ourselves trapped in that paradigm because of the way we're thinking. It's got to be hard. It's got to be complicated. We've got to prove ourselves. And we don't even realize it oftentimes. We're business owners working 60, 80 hours a week and they're exhausted. But it's like, well, I got to stay at it because I've got goals, right? I want to double my income. Okay, I've got to stick with it. I keep my butt in my seat, stay in front of my laptop, right? But sometimes we need to question that with the stance. There's always an easier way. All right, let my mind sit with that, because your intuition can find an easier way. It knows an easier way when you can get yourself out of the, I've got to do this, I've got to do this, that harder, heavier energy.
Yeah, totally. So how can people shift into that? Is it enough to just think about there is an easier way? And I haven't found it. Like, what's a good way to get that reminder, right? Because we are so in our world that sometimes that mind shift is really difficult because we don't remember to think in a different way. So what would be your advice for people to have that question present, or that knowledge there is another way?
That's a great question. So first of all, it is something that you keep top of mind, that it just sort of becomes like a mantra or an affirmation. Okay, there's an easier way. There's an easier way, right? So it does start rewiring your brain. But I also recommend, really looking at all the activities that you do in your business throughout the week. Because, I've worked with hundreds of business owners over the years now, more than that, really. And I see that there's so many things that they're doing that are the shoulds. I should do this, or everybody else in my industry is doing this, right? And so we kind of have this sense of obligation, or, I have to do it this way. And I invite business owners to really look at their calendar, look at their to-do list, look at their project plan for the next couple months. Which of these are things that really actually light you up, that really actually you enjoy and are really aligned for you? And so really you can start getting into this easier way thinking when you start to question everything, reevaluate everything. Here's what I think I need to do to have a 20K month. What if I question that? Like, okay, I have to get this whole membership site together. I've got to do all these collaborations. I've got to send out this whole email thing. What if you question that? What are the absolute essentials? Well, really, the absolute essential is communicate a message. Well, what if there was an easier way to do that? And I didn't have to do that through, 3 tripwires and multiple sales funnels and, 10 affiliates. Yeah. What if there was an easier way? So you just start to question everything from a place of wanting to honor and respect yourself. And what you'll come up with is a more aligned and simplified business model, and really being open to the idea that, everything that I think is I have to do is actually not. And that's almost always the case across the board.
Wow. Let's just pause for a second. Everything you think you have to do is probably not.
Probably not.
That's just so powerful, right? Because we all run around all day like, I have to do this, I have to do this, even though you feel like you're choosing as an entrepreneur, like my to-do list right now is quite long. And I know that if I go through it, I don't have to do it, but I still haven't kicked it off the list either. So I just love that you said that. Thank you so much for this great insight.
Yes.
Yeah, let's just help, like, where can people simplify more? Well, for me, it's definitely my to-do list.
Right. Yeah, definitely your to-do list. Definitely, looking at everything that you spend time on and saying, what's the ROI? What's the true ROI to me? Is this actually generating money and clients, right? Is this actually, or is this like 10 steps away from actually being an income generating activity? So if you can build community and write content that's one step away from a sale, then you've simplified everything, right? That people who follow you on social media, people that read your emails, they read your content, they want to buy from you, right? Like you're eliminating all of these middle steps. Not to say that, running Facebook ads at some point isn't a valid strategy. It is, but you really have to know who your yes client is and what your message is to draw them in, and then go ahead and, multiply your leads with that message. But really, we almost make it too hard. We make the path so long, like that people have to, there's a belief that people have to go through low ticket offers. You have to build that know, like, and trust factor over a long period of time. If someone is your yes client, I've had this happen. Somebody read a post I put in another Facebook group, and within a week, they're buying a high ticket offer. Totally cold lead. Didn't even know them from, didn't know them before. But because I'm speaking to a specific person, and it was like, oh my gosh, she's in my head. Right? If you can write content that your high ticket client says, oh, she's in my head. Was she peeking in the window? How did they know? That's exactly what I'm thinking and feeling, and the challenges I'm having, and what I really want. So you can eliminate a lot of the marketing steps that a lot of people say are have to do's, and that just are a lot of work. And it really actually takes you further away from interacting with your people.
Yeah, I love that. And it's, for me, I experienced the other day that a person said, well, you were talking about your soulmate client and I felt you were looking into my soul. Wow. And that's what you want, right? So when you're so clear in who you're serving, and your why you're serving them and how you serve them, then like the other ones kind of fall away. That doesn't mean you do serve them indirectly because they consume your content, but the small percentage of the perfect soulmate, yes, wonderful dream, ideal client, they are there, they're waiting for you. So putting the time in to actually help them to say yes, or to invite them to work with you, is so crucial. And we often overlook that by all the other activity we think we have to do.
Yes, so true. Really good.
So I love that that is the core of your business, to really simplify to multiply, which is such an amazing claim or sentence.
Yes.
Because life can be so much easier.
Mm-hmm. It can be. And, if your business doesn't feel joyful, if your business doesn't light you up, if your business isn't energizing you, it's time to reevaluate everything. It's time to really look at how many things that you're spending time on are, the things that you learned in that mastermind group that you invested in, and sometimes we stick with something because, we paid to learn it. There's actually a name for that called sunk cost fallacy, right? Wow. You sunk the cost into something, right? You paid for something. And so therefore we keep doing it because we just keep waiting to get the value. We keep waiting. Okay, it's going to pay off. It's going to pay off. Even though I'm not enjoying this, even though I'm exhausted, at some point it's going to pay off. And at some point we kind of have to realize, like, I need to reevaluate here, that this is not simple. This is heavy. This is, draining your energy. And so many of you that are listening, I'm sure you're juggling a lot of things, family and health and, social changes and all of those things. There's a lot, going on, and a lot that you're juggling. And so when you can really simplify your business model and your thinking, your business just becomes lighter, and you just start to really see it as really kind of your own path of self-actualization, and really something that you look forward to versus, okay, can I make it through the day?
Yeah. Will I have enough at the end of the month?
Yes.
I still like the idea that the business is supposed to work for you instead of you working for your business. Is something that, I'm thinking about a lot lately. To find that balance, that harmony where, things become light and stay light. It's not like in flow one day and stuck the next, but where you really can have the impact you want to have in the world. And I think by handpicking your yes clients, and by really making sure who you're working with and who gets the most out of what you teach, that's a way to go.
Exactly. Yeah. You can deliver so much value and really, I work less hours now with a 7-figure business than I did when I had a 6-figure business. which is crazy. And of course I brought on team and we have processes and, things that work. But once you get a business model that you really realize, okay, I can scale this, and you have to adjust your offers and how you serve your people a little bit as you grow, as you bring more people in, of course. I didn't do any of that till I was at multiple six figures. You just don't need all the team you think you need. You don't need all the tech systems. You can really keep that very simple, like communicate a message that speaks to, that yes client who has a very pressing challenge they want solved. They reach out, they buy from you, you serve them, right? Kind of rinse and repeat. At some point you'll hit a capacity, right? Where you'll have to rescale things a little bit. But most people start doing those activities that are really for past multiple six figures. They start doing them when they haven't even built to six figures yet, which means they're spending a lot of time, they have a lot of expenses on things that really aren't giving them high value right now.
Yeah. So when you started selling your first high tickets, like the 5K, was that already a group coaching program or was it one-on-one?
That's a great question. So I did both. I had a group program and I had a one-to-one programs when I first went high ticket. Then what I did over time, and this was at about multiple six figures, at that 20, 30K month kind of level. And I had, I'm starting to get to capacity, even with one-to-one clients, like 20 one-to-one clients, which was okay. So what I did is create a hybrid model. So all of my programs are a hybrid model. Of course, my program, that's for the ones from multi-six building to 7, they get the most one-to-one with me. They have a lot of one-to-one. My clients who are building from 6 to multi-6 have one-to-one with me too. My clients are building a six figure. It's mostly group and team and a little one-to-one time with me, and I'm leading some group calls too. But a hybrid model that's a combination of one-to-one and group, I have found to be the scalable model. And for each of my programs, there's content that supports them walking through the process. So when you realize like, okay, this is how I'm serving people, here are the themes that come up for everybody, create content on that, right? So as people go through your programs, month 1, month 2, they can walk through that process, have some individualization with you, and then also have the group calls. Group calls work well for people in any level of business when your program is narrow in scope. You're doing something very specific in there. But some people don't love being in group programs because they've been in group programs with people at all different stages of business with all kind of different challenges, all different types of businesses. But the more that program is for a specific person, a specific place in their journey, those group calls are great. Everybody's learning. Everybody's implementing the same things. Everybody's at the same stage of business. So having this hybrid model with a Facebook group to support a program, it can be high touch and high value at the same time without needing, a weekly one-to-one call, let's say, for instance.
Yeah. I love that. That's so important that you bring together the right people in a group. So that, because then you can learn from people in the group. I love being in groups because I always learn from other people. Yes. But the moment where I realize that, I am like at the highest level and the rest are questions that I already have been through, then it gets frustrating after a while because then I'm only giving and I'm not receiving, and it feels out of balance. So thank you for putting in this golden nugget that we can think of when we create a group, rather create 2 groups and split up the people into the right groups than just having everyone going through a program.
Makes a big difference in a program experience. When you really feel that sense of community and we're all, doing the same things and, learning the same things, it really makes a difference. So just having programs that are for people, it doesn't have to be business, even if it's health or relationships or, money, financial coaching, that if you're doing groups, which, does help you make it scalable, it makes such a difference for that program experience and also for your clients to get results when you've really thought that through really well. Mm-hmm. And then I bring in some experts into my programs, right? Well, I could teach on really anything in business. For instance, in one of my programs, we have a marketing coach and she knows the nuances of social media that I kind of know, but I don't necessarily want to be teaching on, right? And so I can kind of hold the space for everyone and, teach on the Simplify to Multiply principles and strategies, but she can come in as the expert and give all of this, great coaching and a value on something very specific as well. So that helps programs to be scalable too, so that I don't have to be doing everything and delivering every part of the program myself.
Yeah, I love it. So what does hard sells mean for you?
Oh, well, I love that term, by the way. So hard sells means to me that, whenever as entrepreneurs, that we have the opportunity to participate in someone's growth, someone having actually a heart transformation, someone having a moment where everything changes for the better for them, right? Even if it doesn't seem like you do transformational work directly, all of us are when we're helping people to become better in their life or their business or their health or their finances, whatever the area is. So we all have the chance to have people be happier, and to really have their best lives, and really operate from that place of service, in our heart. And sales isn't about getting, sales is about giving, right? It's a win-win for everybody, and when you can come at it from that perspective, it can help take away some of those fears too, and some of those money mindset blocks that if you really, really believe and decide to own, like everybody wins here, right?
Yeah, I just love it. Thank you so much. I love that perspective. And that kind of ties into the abundance piece we talked about in the first episode. So by finishing off this wonderful conversation, and we probably could go on forever, right, what would be some kind of advice where people can actually tune into more of the abundance mindset and of knowing that there is enough? Scarcity doesn't actually exist. It's just in our minds. What kind of tips could you give around this so they can give themselves permission to receive more and to open up to more?
Yes. So it's really about noticing all of the abundance that's in front of you right now. So there's a fun hashtag that my clients and I use in our programs and that we talk about from time to time. And in one of my programs, we do it on a Friday share too. And it's hashtag and the words of course. Of course. So it's a way of thinking. So often, we notice the 1% of things that don't work out or aren't going well, and we don't notice the other 99% of things that work out just perfectly or better than we expected. So if you can get into the mindset of starting to notice all the things in your life that are working out, all the things that are good things. Oh, of course, and especially signs and synchronicities, right? Like, oh, of course that happened. Of course that person reached out to me. I can think of a situation myself, just something personal. I'm getting ready for a photo shoot and redoing my brand and everything. And I was looking for a specific resource and I was having trouble. And this, what I needed was booked. And I'm like, oh, okay. All right. I'm just going to sit back for a second and sit with this and say, there's always an easier way, right? There's the philosophy, the way is here. And then I thought of a person who was the perfect resource. I texted her. She gave me exactly what I needed. Of course, the person was right in my world who would know who to contact, right? So just noticing those things and seeing that gratitude and abundance all around you, right? When someone reaches out to you and then there's a connection of a connection because of that, then there's this great opportunity because of that, or even just little things like, oh, this package is going to arrive late. Oh no. And then it shows up at your doorstep right on time. Of course it did, right? So just noticing the things that we often just dismiss because we're focused on the 1% of things that, have a little wobble in them. We can start really training our brain to just see all of the good things and all the abundance all the time, really.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. Thank you so much, Joy. I loved our episodes. I just love your work. And I think it's so wonderful that you give people that opportunity to transform into people who are able to sell high tickets, who at the rate where they value themselves and also their offers, and they only go for the best clients who then will get results, which you do at a higher ticket price. So thank you so much for doing this wonderful work and for supporting all these heart-centered people to really see opportunity, to see possibility, and to feel abundance. Because, you've done it, so they can do it, right? I always say about, I'm not special. I look for people who have accomplished where I want to go, and then I try to learn from them. And I just know that if they've done it, there shouldn't be any reason why I can't do it. So thank you so much for sharing. What would you like to leave us with?
Yes. Well, I would just want to remind everyone that there's always an easier way. Whatever that you desire, whatever you want to create, whatever you want your business to look like 6 months, 12 months from now, just to remember that there's a simpler way, there's an easier way. And sometimes you just have to question things, and say, is this aligned? Is this a have to? And really allowing your business to feel lighter, allowing it to feel more enjoyable, allowing yourself to receive more clients in abundance. It's a belief, really, a way of thinking before it's a reality. So that's where we start.
I love it. I love it. And also, I almost forgot, but you brought us an amazing, amazing gift. The easy yes sales process. I mean, who would want that, right?
Right.
So it's really about whatever your income goal is. If it's consistent at 10K months or multiple 6 figures or even $1 million, the easy yes sales process will enable you to get to, you want to go with ease and integrity. And I think that's so important, the piece of ease and integrity. You don't need to become a slimy, sleazy salesperson. You can just be you and really sell at a high ticket price. So thank you so much for bringing that to us. Is there anything you want to leave us with that wonderful gift? I'm going to put a link, obviously, in the show notes and all the links that lead to your work as well. What will people learn? Is it like PDF? Is it a little video series? What are they learning?
It's a downloadable PDF where I share the 4-step, and it's really like the psychology behind being in integrity. And my belief in sales, it should always be honoring the potential client and that they're always in a place of choice, right? And that they're actually leading the way forward, right? We're not pulling them, they're bringing themselves. And so it's a little bit of thinking through the process and how our mind works and the stages in which people make decisions. And it can be an easy yes for the right people when we just think of this in a step-by-step process and really come at it from that place of integrity and not trying to convince anyone and letting them make the decisions along the sales process. We just give them the information and they're an empowered decision maker. That's what we want, are people that are empowered decision makers to know if it's right for them or not. So it's the step-by-step and what to think through whenever you're in this sales process. So it feels really good to both parties.
Wow. Well, thank you so much. I can't wait to get my hands on it myself. I haven't downloaded yet, but that's such a great process and it's easy to understand. And, you can just print it out, put it next to your phone. And then when you have the next conversation, you can just be guided by it.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Joy. Having a wonderful day, and I'm saying bye to everyone.
Thanks for having me so much. Bye-bye.
I just love how Joy shared her own story from how she practiced and how she shifted and transformed into high-ticket offers and how difficult it was at the beginning for her and her mindset because she was in a different place and she had really to practice to think about it and to work it out. So I believe it's possible for everyone. And obviously you should be bringing the value to your clients that you are asking for and much, much more. But just having that shift will shift your business, will shift your life, and it will help you to support in a better way, on a deeper level, and impact more people eventually because you have more money to have more choices. Hop on over to ChristineSchlonski.com, find the podcast tab with the show notes, the transcript, and all the resources. All the links to Joy are right there. They're just one click away. Also her wonderful free gift and an invitation to check out the Heart-Centered Lead Generation Summit totally for free, which will provide you with over 40 experts who share their lead generation secrets with you, from organic to partnerships to paid, and you will find different ways how to fill your pipeline with amazing clients. Thank you so much for having been here. Make definitely sure you check out Variety Friday. This is the celebration episode of last week's birthday celebration for 2 years Hard Sells podcast. And we have created an amazing episode, so you want to tune in, and maybe if you participated, maybe you will hear your voice. Thank you so much for having been here. Hop on over to christineschlonski.com, sign up for the empowerment notes, check out the podcast, and just have some fun on the page. And I'm wishing you all the best wherever you are in this beautiful world, and I'm saying bye for now.